That's cool. All right, we'll have to edit this out too, I guess.
Yeah, way to go.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, okay. What is going on? LBHT Crew, B, Hendo. What is going on?
It's the holidays.
It
Short
is
work
the
week.
holidays.
That's
Yeah.
that's what the holidays mean to Hendo. To me, it's about the family and the friends. But that's nice too, Hendo.
I
It's
mean, yeah,
nice too that you get off work.
100%.
All right. It is a Wednesday, a very special Wednesday. So happy Wednesday. Hope your week is going well. But if not, hopefully it gets better starting right now. We are not live streaming this. Okay. This is not a live stream. The chat will be active because this will be a premiere. So you might see us in the chat. You'll see everybody else in the chat. So interact with each other. We're not gonna bring any comments up on the screen, obviously, right? But uh, we will give you all of the effects of a normal LBHT show. But this will be a little different because this is the holidays. So we decided we're not going to go live. We're going to take Wednesday off. But here we are with the show for you, and we're going to give you a couple surprises throughout the show. Okay, you're going to be seeing a little videos from some of your favorite YouTubers telling you what they're thankful for this season. All right, so be on the lookout for that. And of course, we have to discuss the upcoming matchup between the Ravens and the Eagles. This is another big game. We just came off of a win versus the Chargers, a much needed win. We got to keep it rolling, and we got to discuss some Panthers. Okay, the Panthers they had a close loss to the Chiefs, a game that we could argue they should have won. They're looking better. Okay, will they be able to get that next win against is it the Bucks they're playing this week?
Yep,
Be saying
playing the
no.
Bucks.
Don't
Playing the Bucks.
be man. Don't spoil it yet. We have to get to that segment.
I said yes. They're playing the Bucks. That's what I was. Yeah, playing the Bucks.
You said.
I was like, no. Then I said they're playing the Bucks, and I was like, oh yeah, they are.
All right. Shout out to everybody that's active in the chat. All right. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. All right. The super chats are not active. I don't think. Are they active for premieres?
I believe so.
Yes, I think that they are. But if not, super stickers. You can
Super
give those.
stickers, super thanks. And you can always hit up our Cash App, $ LBHT Show. All right. I also put the pin link for the Streamlabs page. Okay. You can leave your donations, leave your comment. You won't get an animation on this screen today, but you'll get an animation when we come back live the following week because we can always bring those back up. All right. All right. Do we have a Black History fact today?
No, because it's Tuesday.
Man,
I do them on Wednesday. So, and I'm sorry that Cole wanted a day off. You sitting here talking about that's the best part of the holidays, and you want to deny a Cole. That's why when the robots rise up, they kill humans. You know that,
I don't
right?
think Okole celebrates any holidays.
Exactly. See that? Now you're making him not human. Okay.
Yes, correct.
Now you're taking away his personhood, and he's not going to appreciate it.
Well, listen. To make him feel better, you should have put him to work.
Wow.
The day off is until Thursday, so
yes, sir, Massa. I guess
Right.
I don't know. Like what that sounded awful.
I'm just saying, if you wanted to make him feel more human, make him work today like we did.
Okay. All right. Well, this would be
terrible. Okay.
All right. In light of B's misstep in letting our employee off a day early,
You're cutting all this.
Okay. In light of all this, we'll cut to the first person that's going to tell you what they're thankful for.
In this season of Thanksgiving, I am grateful for my health, my life, my strength, and my family. That includes you, because you are a part of my extended family. You are the foundation, the bedrock, the cornerstone of what we are building in this community. And it's my honor and privilege to come week after week to spend some time with you, to share thoughts and ideas, and to learn more about football together. It has been a wonderful year, and I look forward to the upcoming triumphs and victories that we will share together as we cheer on our Baltimore Ravens. I will see you very soon. I wish you all and your families a very happy, safe, and healthy and prosperous Thanksgiving.
All right, and we're back.
And you say, like, anything can be a Black history fact, right? That was a Black person telling you what they're thankful for in 2024.
Now, what if I put Fares there?
But you're not going to now because I've said that. So now I've locked in the fact that it's going to be.
You don't know what we're going to do.
I've locked in the fact that it's going to be Mike now, right? It's going to be Mike or him. No. I have
All
control.
Right.
Out of the editing.
All right. Okay. So let's get into it.
Absolute disaster.
Thank you, B. Appreciate it.
Well, I don't have control of the editing, so just take it out, I guess. Whatever.
All right. Let's get to it. The Ravens, I mean, as we're recording this, this happened last night. They handled business against the Chargers. Much needed win. I like the way they executed for the most part in the game. First half the first quarter really started out a little clunky. I was getting frustrated right there when they went down 10-0. But Lamar gets it going. He's not going to let the team get into a rut for too long. And once they took the lead, they didn't look back. So I like how they used Derrick Henry. I love you guys know I love the way Justice Hill's been playing this year, and very excited for him to get that 50-yard touchdown run. He earned it. He's been working for it. Mm-hmm. So great passing by Lamar. I think Bateman had a very good game, very good catch in the end zone. Zay Flowers looked good. Everybody looked good. So and defense was solid. There's a couple of plays where it could have went the other way, but it didn't. So another solid game. They need to build off of that. And look, we got Philly coming to town, and Philly looks great. They started out looking a little suspect, but now they're figuring some things out. Saquon is the leading rusher in the league right now. And even though we're the number one defense, that's a scary person to have to scheme for.
Yeah, the defense for Baltimore, they played all right. Like I said, there were a lot of missed opportunities for the Chargers that could have really, really changed the game. Quentin Johnston, but for the most part, they held up. The offense, that's kind of what I'm afraid of with these Ravens, because they don't have great talent, in the wide receiver core, and the run game, no matter who you have back there, can always be shut down, right? If the other team really wants to. So a slow start like that mixed in with them, always and just forever and always committing as many penalties as possible is something that could really derail them come playoff time. But like you said, after the first quarter or so, things, Lamar kind of settled down. He was throwing high early in the game, and he kind of settled in and played really well. Derrick Henry played really well. Daniel Falalele sprung him with a key block early in the game for probably his biggest run of the day. Overall, it's a good win against a solid team. But yeah, with the Eagles coming to town, I mean, you say they look great. I say they look pretty fraudulent because Jalen Hurts is still under center. But regardless, they've got the best running back in the league right now in Saquon Barkley. They've got Devontae Smith. They've got A.J. Brown. They've got, Goddard at tight end. And they've got talent all over their defense as well. So that's going to be another very telling matchup for Baltimore.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Listen, for me, I don't think it was a great win. I think it was a well-needed win because there is a possibility that the Ravens could go on a skid. If we'd have lost the game versus the Chargers, then have the Eagles coming in. We also have that 10. We had 3 games in 10 days coming up, and it's not a good stretch. And one of those games is versus the Steelers. So we did what we needed to do, but these slow starts are going to kill us in the playoffs. One thing that I didn't like that seems to be praiseworthy to a lot of people is that fourth down call at the 16-yard line by John Harbaugh. Like everybody's praising him, talking about, oh, the cojones, the cojones. To me, cool. If we didn't make it, you're giving them a prime opportunity to score, to kick a field goal, score a touchdown. But the thing that I didn't like the most was the play call. We haven't learned from the Raiders game and the Dallas game that stop putting Mark Andrews under center. You have a 235-pound back that is one of the greatest of this generation, and you're running a tight end sneak. But outside of that, I think, the Ravens picked it up once we realized what our identity is supposed to be, and we started running Derrick Henry in the second quarter on. That's when the Ravens took control of this game. Like you said, things could have gone a little bit different if Herbert would have taken some different reads, because there was some guys wide open, and our wide receivers aren't the best. Another thing that we got away with was Cam Hart didn't play, and Asante Samuel Jr. is on injured reserve. So we didn't play their best defensive backfield, but we got the win. We needed it. On to the Philadelphia Eagles, who have won 7 straight games. Like you said, Brodny, they looked kind of fraudulent in the beginning, and I think they had an issue like the Ravens had. They didn't know what their identity was. Saquon Barkley was new. They didn't know what to do with him. But once they found out he is that guy, they decided, listen, we're going to use him and we're going to ride him till the wheels fall off. He is the leading rusher in the NFL by about 40 yards, I believe, with one less game played. The Eagles are a bad team. Like Devontae Smith didn't even play the last game versus the Rams. He may not be ready for the Ravens game. Hope not. But it's a tough task in that defense. I think they have the number 1 rated defense now. If not,
Yeah.
it's not top 2. Like they have some dogs. Like they put together a team. Once they drafted Jalen Carter and the rest of them Georgia Bulldogs, like they had a vision for this defense. So the Ravens are going to get a test offensively and defensively. So this is going to be a playoff atmosphere type game, and we're going to see where the Ravens stand as we head into the final stretch of the season.
Yeah. So yes, this is going to be a tough game. Like the Eagles, like you said, are firing on all cylinders, but I think we can rise to the challenge. And it's easy just to say, hey, NFC teams, we don't, they don't beat us, but the record speaks for itself. And I think there's something to why NFC teams have trouble facing Lamar. And I think it's going to be no different with the Eagles. Like, yes, if they win, would it surprise me? No, they're a good team. But I think, good NFC teams, especially, those are games that Harbaugh gets up for. He gets up for those big games, right? Games where there's high expectation from the other team. He realized he can't just go in there and just, sleep his way through coaching that game. He has to actually coach the game. So that's one. And two, yeah, you can't replicate what Lamar Jackson does out there on that field, especially now where he's more committed to passing the ball, right? Like he made some amazing. He had one rushing touchdown last night, and that was pretty much it. He didn't really run the ball after that, but he was still making a lot of people miss. Right?
Mm-hmm.
He still had a threat of running the ball, which kind of sprung Justice Hill for that 50-yard run. Right? So it's hard to replicate that even with a Jalen Hurts there. Right? So it's just not the same facing him, and you don't see him that often to really make those adjustments. And now where he can do it all, and he has a coordinator that's going to let him do it all, it's just hard to game plan, even if you have the number 1 defense. Now for them on offense, now obviously our defense haven't been playing great. They've played better over the last 2 weeks. Stopping Saquon, I think, is priority. Jalen Hurts, although I think he's not the best passer in the world, he's solid. And when you have weapons like that, you don't have to be great, right? That's going to be the thing. Do you want to force him to pass the ball to AJ Brown, Devontae Smith? They're not sure if he's playing yet, right?
Yeah, they're not sure.
Yeah. Look, they still got some weapons out there, right? But that might be your best bet. Hopefully, Brandon Stevens can continue to play well. You know, Tre'Davious White. I know you guys are you want to see more Tre'Davious White in the game. Okay, hopefully they play well. Marlowe's been playing really well. I think this is one of those games that it will benefit us if we can force a couple of turnovers on that side of the ball, and I think we can. But I think that'll be key to this game. But I don't think we can get off to a slow start against the Eagles. We have to start fast.
Right. Let me ask you a question. Is it just me during the game yesterday? There was one point in the game where they showed a close up of Tre'Davious White trying to cover somebody, and he looked like he was running like a cartoon character to me. Like his little legs were just going, but he wasn't moving anywhere. I was like, he's lost it.
I might be wrong on this, but I remember he was the one trailing Palmer on what should have been a touchdown that Herbert overthrew, and then he was the one trailing 5-6 yards behind Quentin Johnston on that play that Quentin Johnston dropped. Right, so it wasn't a great outing from him.
Right,
but they like I said, they had missed opportunities for the Chargers, overthrows, drop passes, and things like that, and then the rest of the time, the secondary held up. Jalen Armour Davis made a Tre'Davious White-esque play. I don't hear anybody saying he should be starting though.
True.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like he's a new flavor, right? Like we traded for Tre'Davious White, and he was once really good. Let him play. We're not happy with our second cornerback, which I think that's all overblown. I do not think Stevens is as bad as people are making it out to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to get two really good cornerbacks on the same team, man. Like that is a premium position.
It's not that hard. You just give him a third round pick, and you would have done it.
Well, yes, no, it's not that. No, it wasn't. It wouldn't have been that hard for us. It wouldn't have been that hard for us. But typically, you don't see two lockdown corners on the same team, right? Because you got to pay them, and the team that likes to pay the least, and the Ravens, definitely doesn't want to do it, even though that's kind of the identity. Our strength is in our secondary. That's what they want it to be, but they don't want to pay for that. They want to try to develop, and that's fine. In the ideal world, you develop your players, and you save money that way until you pay the ones that you absolutely have to pay. But you got to do a better job developing. Okay. I mean, Nate Wiggins, I want to say he's playing bad. I think he's fine. He's playing like a rookie, but not a lockdown corner, which is why they're looking to get Marshawn Lattimore or somebody else in there, because he's not ready yet. Will he turn into that? Possibly. And then what are you going to do with Brandon Stevens? TJ Tampa, TJ Tampa. Well, no, nobody's talking about him becoming anything. But that's the hope. The hope is that you develop somebody like that. So we'll see. Obviously, he ain't doing anything this year. He's not contributing. That's a future pick, and hopefully that works out, right? I think just like Brandon Stevens needs time to develop, and I think Brandon Stevens is a good starting corner, and I think we should re-sign him. Not everybody can be a lockdown corner. And if you want a lockdown corner, you can't think that he's going to fall to you at the end of the first round. You can't think that he's going to fall to you in the second or third round. You have to trade up and get those guys, right? Mm-hmm. You have to get them at the top of the draft, like we got Kyle Hamilton, right? Mm-hmm. We all think he's the best safety in the league. I would agree with that notion. And we got him 14th overall. Had we waited to go further down in the draft to get a safety, doesn't mean we wouldn't gotten a good safety, but it wouldn't have been Kyle Hamilton. You have to get talent at the top of the draft, and since we're not picking at the top of the draft, you have to make moves to move up in the draft.
Well, the funny thing is, safety is probably the one position, safety and running back, I guess, where you could get high end talent picking later, and they chose to go high on safety, because in that very same draft, they could have gotten Brian Branch in the second round, who's playing outstanding. But they chose to say, hey, you know what? When they zig, we zag. So nobody draft safeties in the first round. We're going to take one top 15. And I'm not saying it was a bad pick. I liked the pick at the time. He's a great player. He's a great prospect. But it's just funny to me that the one time that they didn't have to is the one time they did.
Yeah.
Go high to get that talent. They won't trade up to get a wide receiver. They won't trade up to get a left tackle. They won't trade up to get their edge rusher. But give me that safety that nobody else is going to draft.
Well, safeties are cheaper than cornerbacks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Maybe not this safety. His time is coming. His contract time is coming. And if he is arguably the best safety in the NFL, he's going to cost some money. Like, we paid $70 million to Marcus Williams. What do you think that Kyle Hamilton is going to command? Because he can say, listen, I'm not just a safety. I'm a safety linebacker. I'm a hybrid. So maybe you need to give me something in between the two of them. And we have to re-sign Linderbaum as well. So, hey, we could be in some problems. And Lamar's cap goes up, so.
Yeah. And you got to re-sign Ronnie Stanley.
That's right.
And if I'm Ronnie Stanley, I mean, it goes without saying you're going to make me the highest paid tackle in the league. That goes without saying.
What language?
Yeah. What do you mean, what language?
Look, what language are you saying? What language are you saying it in, though?
Any language you speak. Any language you speak. What's the alternative?
I mean, the highest paid left tackle, though?
He's in a position to demand it because you're talking about the Baltimore Ravens as a Super Bowl contender. You're in that window right now, and your GM has not done any of the work to get replacements for players like Ronnie Stanley. And so he can sit there and say, listen, highest paid tackle or I'm walking. And what are you going to do?
They're going to let him walk. Just like they said, hey.
No, I know what I'm saying. And what are you going to do?
Oh, no. He can request it. I just know that the Ravens are going to make him the highest paid left tackle. Listen, they sent out 3 players that didn't have any starting experience and said, you know what? Go protect our best asset.
And Ronnie's saying, hey, make it 4. And he's going to dare him to do it.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. And that's exactly what I would do. Like, okay, hey, offensive line, they're coming along. They'll be better next year. Roger Rosengarten, Valele, he's getting better every day. You got Voorhees, Andrew Voorhees. He might develop into something. And look, you're gonna pay me, or you'll be saying the same thing about your left tackle, who you have no idea is going to be on the team.
I don't think he'll demand to be the highest paid left tackle, but he's going to command a lot of money.
I think it'd be foolish not to ask.
I think he'll start there and come down. Like I don't think he'll stick on that point. Is what I'm saying. But he could. He's not even old. Is he 31 or so? 31, 32?
We asked this before. Old? I don't even think he's in his 30s yet. Is he?
I think he is.
Let's see.
Ronnie
should be.
He's
Ronnie
30.
Stanley is 30. So
he turns 31 in March.
So he can make the argument that he's not even, like you shouldn't even expect a decline on his next contract. With the way some of these offensive linemen go into their late 30s. So I mean, look, he may demand that, and your GM has put you in a position where you have to pay it, or you say, hey, you know what, Lamar, I know you did it with 3 guys who couldn't block. You're going to have to do it with 4 guys who can't block.
I mean, Trent Williams is 36 years old.
Yeah.
Still going strong. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Like he can make that argument. Hey, I'm nowhere near washed. You can still get 4 or 5 great years out of me. So you're gonna have to pay me. But it definitely ain't gonna be a team friendly deal.
Oh, no doubt. Especially after making me take a pay cut.
Now, had the Ravens listened to the show, which, there's some speculation that they do watch us, okay? They would have known that we suggested last year, hey, Ronnie's not done. You got to keep him around. Possibly even last year would have been the year to give him a team-friendly deal. Hey, we're going to extend you because you have been playing hurt for us. You've been doing us a solid, and we want to do you a solid. So let's extend you. Right? That's where you can extend them for a price where it's fair to him and it's fair to the team, if he doesn't have anything left, then it wouldn't be that hard to get out of that contract. But if he does, then you have a solid contract, right?
Yeah.
But instead, they wanted him to restructure his deal this year to where he only gets paid for the games that he plays. And it turns out he's healthy. He's playing every game. He's playing at a high level, and he's definitely going to ask for that money next year.
Right. And what makes this situation worse is you knew that Ronnie Stanley was injured over the last 3 years, and you did not get a suitable replacement for him at all.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. And if he wants to play hardball, he can play hardball. Where are they going to go? Left tackles just don't fall off trees. And we're not trading up in the draft to get one if there's a really good one in the draft. So you might be right. He might get that bag.
And if the Ravens don't win it all this year, right, you definitely can't regress even more by saying, well, let's start over at left tackle.
Right.
Yeah. So congratulations, Ronnie Stanley.
Negotiations are done.
So yes, all right. Who are we picking for this game? I got the Ravens winning this game.
I'm gonna go with the Ravens.
I'm taking Philly on this one.
Hater.
Ooh, okay. All right.
I do hate the fact that y'all weren't the ones who trade for AJ Brown. I do hate the fact that y'all didn't sign Saquon.
Every week, B calls Jalen Hurts a hater, but he always picks him to win.
I've never once called him a hater.
He calls him a fraud. He calls him a fraud.
Interesting.
I never once called him a hater.
He calls him a fraud.
Yeah. And I'm picking the Philadelphia Eagles to win. If you said to me, hey, it's 20
every week you call him a fraud.
No, if you said to me, hey, it's 27-21, fourth down on the 15-yard line, and the Eagles have the ball, and they've got 3 seconds left. They got one play. They need a touchdown to win. Jalen Hurts is the quarterback. I'm picking the Ravens. All right? But if you're just saying...
it might come down to that.
If you're saying all 53 guys are going to have their say in who wins this game, then I'm going to pick the Eagles.
All right. There you have it. Okay. And you guys, with that being said, we have our next two people that are going to tell you what they're thankful for are also making picks on this game. All right. One of them you haven't seen in a while, but you'll be very happy to see him, and he has a message for you. All right. Him and his wife, they got messages for you. And this is as he would call it, a house divided. All right, so check it out.
LBHT Crew, what up, man? It's your boy OTR Mike. Look, I know I've been gone for a minute. You hear it. But yeah, Ravens Eagles. We gonna go 30-27. Ravens lock. Let's go.
Eagles Ravens. Currently, we're on fire. 7-0 winning streak. Saquon Barkley rushing for 255 yards. Our momentum couldn't be higher. My prediction is the Ravens secondary cannot handle our offense. We're too dynamic right now. We're feeling ourselves and we can't be beat. My prediction is 31-20. Eagles win. Fly, Eagles, fly.
And man, what I'm thankful for is all of y'all, man. The LBHT Crew. LBHT Crew, let me say that right. Appreciate y'all, man. Miss y'all too, man. I'll be back soon.
I'm thankful for my family, my health, the strength to keep chasing my dreams, having drive and ambition. Gratitude keeps me grounded, and I'm blessed to have love and purpose. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right. The Carolina Panthers came into this weekend the hottest team in the NFL, having won 2 in a row with Bryson. They were 2-0. They were looking great. They were getting better every week, but we knew that this was going to be a tough one. You're kind of running into a buzzsaw whenever you play the Kansas City Chiefs. Even if they don't look like the best team in the league, they find ways to beat you because heart of a champion, whatever, blah blah blah. Carolina, they played well for most of the game. The defense gave one up real fast. They got down 7-0 in like 3 plays. So had they started the game maybe 5 minutes later, then it's an even closer game. Maybe Carolina wins, but they were not ready for that first drive. But for the most part, the defense played well.
Yeah.
And Bryce Young played his best game of his career, hands down. He's throwing the ball all over the field, all areas of the field. He was accurate. He was decisive. And something we hadn't really seen much of before, he was putting a lot of velocity on the throws. He always before kind of looked like his arm was kind of weak. And, based off of the way he was throwing it on Sunday, maybe that was just a part of his indecision. That he wasn't putting everything into the throws because he put some heat on some of them throws on Sunday. Now, he did get let down a bit by his surrounding cast. I'm not going to name any names, but he wears extra large. And he, it was a god awful drop. Like it was one of those things that just cannot happen under any circumstances. But it did, and they'll be looking to get a new number one receiver in the draft. But that's neither here nor there.
Because some drops are they're focus drops. Like it's like, oh man, it's a simple one, but like you could tell like they're looking to turn up field. Like Zay Flowers did in that one where it hit him in the chest. One where Bateman, the sun got in his face. Hit him in the face, whatever. Leggett saw that all the way through, and he just watched it go through his hands.
It went right through his arms, and
Yeah.
it was terrible. It was a perfect throw, a perfect throw. Jatavian Sanders was playing well. He's starting to come on over the last few weeks, but then he got hurt. He landed on his head for no apparent reason. Don't do that anymore. But they said that luckily, it doesn't look like it's serious, so he should be back pretty soon. They got Jonathan Brooks out there for the first time, and then went decoy with him, gave him like 2 carries, so I lost my fantasy game this week. Thanks a lot, Canales. I wanted to see more of Jonathan Brooks. I wanted to see how he looks. Right. It wasn't a specific number of carries, but you want to see him get out there and see what he can do. He didn't really have much opportunity. They didn't go with the run game very much this week. They really kind of put it all on Bryce, and he, for the most part, he rose to the occasion. They were in it right up until the very end. They gave the ball back to Kansas City with 1:40 something left on the clock, and Pat Mahomes isn't going to lose a game with 1:40 left on the clock. So that was unfortunate, sort of. I actually kind of tend to think it was the perfect outcome. They played very well. Bryce played very well. They still get the loss, and so they can maintain that draft position. They are now projected to pick 6th. I'd like to see that bump up a few more spots before the end of the season. But yeah, it was one of the very few times over the last 6 years that it wasn't embarrassing watching the Carolina Panthers play football. So that's nice.
Yeah, I think what's going on is they're finally starting to adjust to Dave Canales, right? They had it was a bad stretch of coaching, right? Bad stretch of front office moves, and it's hard to change a culture, right? When you have guys that are used to showing up to work and losing, right? Showing up and not really being competitive, right? It's hard for them to buy in and believe that this is something real. And I, even for Bryce had it rough. He's been through what, 4 coaches?
He went through 3 head coaches in his rookie year, so I think this is his 4th head coach, I believe.
Right. So that's tough, man. So they got off to a god awful start, and players.
No, this is his
third
head coach.
Third head coach. Okay.
Yeah.
God awful start. Players getting hurt. Tough sledding, but Canales is showing himself to be a good head coach. He's turned a couple of quarterbacks' careers around, and him being benched. We were all speculating at the time, him being benched, does that mean that's it for him? Or is that it for him in Carolina?
Right.
And it turns out no, it wasn't. Like he truly just needed to sit down and just kind of settle down and kind of watch the game a little bit and get his mind right. And it looks like he did. And that's rare to see, right? A lot of young quarterbacks don't have that mental toughness
Yeah.
to handle all of that. And he's proven himself so far to be different, because what I saw in that Kansas City game against a top defense, he had composure. Like, he timed those blitzes really well, really well. So I'm excited to see what he does in this upcoming game. And he avenged that beat down he got in the first week. He came back and beat New Orleans. So I want to see what he does against Tampa.
I'm not sure what you're talking about with the New Orleans thing. Bryce is 2-1 now. But yeah, like you said, I do want to say shout out to Bryce Young, because that's not, like I said, it's not a common thing. And for him to be able to take the beating he took last year behind that super trash O-line with no wide receivers, it was an awful, awful season. Come back this year and have an even worse start to the season, then get benched. It's adversity he's never gone through on the field in his career.
Yeah.
And to be able to bounce back and come back and play better than he ever has says a lot about him, I think, regardless of where it ends up in terms of if he's the quarterback in Carolina or not. That says a lot about him.
First of all, he's going to be the quarterback in Carolina. Listen, you can't take too many rookie quarterbacks in the NFL and have them get beaten up like he did last season and come back, get benched, lose all your confidence. Because for athletes, confidence is one of the most important things. And the thing that I'm seeing out of Bryce right now, he's smiling, he's having fun, and he's confident in his ability. He's looking like the Bryce Young from Alabama. But I want to give a big shout out to the guy that Bryce Young paid to hit Andy Dalton's car. Shout out to that guy for incapacitating him and putting Bryce back in there. Because listen, Kansas City, I think, had like the number 2 or 3 defense in the league, and Bryce was out there balling. So listen, and I give credit to Dave Canales as well. Like, he could have just given up on him and went in a different direction. But I think Bryce is going to be the future of the Carolina Panthers, especially if he can keep on the trajectory that he's on right now.
Well, I think, yes, I agree. They're still in the evaluation stage, right? There's still a lot of football left to play. And, like what we said, if he keeps stacking on these games and improving, it's a tough decision to make at the end of the season, right? Because I think he looked good for the first time in a while, right?
Right.
So it's about consistency now. Like, you got to be consistent. Like, that's all it is for all these positions in the NFL. Like, every one of these players can have those moments where they look good or even great. Can they do it consistently? So that's what we need to see from Bryce. And if he strings together a few more games where he does look like he can be that, then Canals can look at it and say, I don't need to go quarterback. I can go elsewhere here. But if he's still up and down, then Canals, I think, has a right to say, I want to go in a different direction with the quarterback, right? That's the decision for him to make. But once he makes that decision, then he's on the hook for it.
Oh yeah, because he's, as the head coach, you're tied to your quarterback. And Canales wasn't there when they drafted Bryce Young. But listen, Canales has a conundrum upon him. Bryce Young, Shedeur Sanders. Either way, he can't go wrong.
B's not feeling the Shedeur Sanders. I think Shedeur will be fine, man.
I think he would do fine. I think he would do well. You may not like him, but he probably would win y'all some games.
I'm not, like I said, I never said that he can't play.
You don't
I
like
don't. I don't like his attitude, and I don't think that he would be able to lead a team. And that's not a good place to be at. Personally,
see, Evie Mux doesn't agree with you because it took your
say
audio. Evie Mux took your audio and was like, "Nope."
Yeah, it drowned you out. See, that's Say that again.
Yeah, I've never said I don't think that Shedeur can't play. I don't like his attitude or what I've seen of his attitude publicly. I don't think that he would be a guy who can come in and kind of, lead a team, be the leader of a group of men. And that's not like, that's an essential part of the position.
True.
Right? Like, Carson Wentz had the talent, right? But nobody liked him. He didn't get along with anybody. and so he's not out the league yet, but he's close, right? Even Jared Goff with the Rams, like Sean McVay thought he wasn't a strong enough leader, right? And he kept on challenging him in very messed up ways, but he kept on challenging him, and Jared was not responding, and so they had to get him up out of there. And to Jared's credit, he's taken that on board, and he's bounced back, and he's playing better than he ever has, and he's on a much better team than the Rams right now, and probably the favorite to get to the Super Bowl out of the NFC. So,
is that what people are saying about Shador? Like, are they saying his teammates don't like him? I mean, I haven't heard that, but I don't.
I haven't heard that his teammates don't like him, but it's just a general immaturity.
So I listen. I like Shador, and I think he's very talented. But I see where B's coming from. Like, he's a little cocky. He talks a lot of trash, and the veterans on the team might not take to that and say, "You got this guy leading us. He's going to take us and make us better." I can see where there may be a clash with the egos and all, but listen, winning cures everything.
Mm-hmm. Haven't done a lot of that in Carolina, so good luck, Shador, if you get drafted. But I don't think right now. If I had to bet either way, right?
We're going
if I had to bet right now, I think that Bryce will be back.
The
way he's looking right now, I would say he'll be back.
Yeah, I mean, and I said it'd be a tough decision at the end of the year, but if he plays consistent like this, I don't think it's that tough of a decision for Canales, right? Like, you have a young quarterback who's doing the things that you're asking him to do. I think Canales is one of those coaches where he's like McVay in that way, where it's like, I'll do the thinking for you. You ain't gotta do a lot of thinking, right? I'll drop the plays. You just do what I tell you to do out there, and you're gonna have success. And Bryce can be that quarterback that you can mold, right? So, and if that's the case, that'll save you guys a lot of trouble.
I got one even better. One even better for y'all. Correcting the sins of the father. Free agent quarterback Justin Fields goes to Carolina. Boom.
Like, you're joking, but I would not.
I'm dead serious. What are you talking about? I'm dead serious. And then you can have him and Bryce, and whoever's the best player wins. Like, and it's not going to cost a lot of money.
I will say this: if they decide to go with Bryce, I wouldn't bring in a quarterback like Justin Fields, because having gone through what Bryce has already gone through on the field, I would want him to feel secure in being the starting quarterback moving forward and see what he can do. You bring in a player like Justin Fields, you're saying, hey, this is kind of maybe not an open competition, but just do, if you don't play well, we're going to put him in. They would need to go with an older quarterback who has, had the life beaten out of him a little bit, no designs on being a starter again.
Carson Wentz?
No, not Carson Wentz.
So Andy Dalton's coming back?
No, but not Andy Dalton, because Andy, I like Andy, and he's a solid backup. But I would want to upgrade that position a little bit. He's older and he can't give you multiple games.
Josh Johnson.
Did you hear the part where I said he's old and can't give you multiple games? Because Josh Johnson can't give you one game, and I believe he's 477. But no, Dalton will probably be back. But I'd like to, see if they can get somebody else in there who you could depend on over a longer stretch if, Bryce got hurt.
Joe Flacco.
No, once again.
What about Ryan Tannehill?
Completely washed.
Yeah, he is washed, but you're not looking for a guy to go in there and threaten to start.
Who can play.
Right.
But that's hard to do, right? Like, as a backup.
It is hard to do. That's why I said Dalton will probably be back. But, you look around, just not in Ryan's direction.
Like, when you have somebody that's still trying to establish themselves, you want a washed player being the backup. A guy that can come in there for a game or two and give you something, and then that's it, right? He's not a threat. Because if you had a slightly better player than Andy Dalton, then Bryce doesn't get back on the field, right?
Daniel Jones.
No, I know. I hear what you're saying, but I'm like, what the reason I don't want Dalton back is if Bryce gets hurt and he say he's going to miss 5-6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Dalton sinks your season. And you got to have a player who's better than that to keep keep you afloat. Like if you look at New Orleans a few years ago, they still had Drew Brees. He got hurt. He missed 5 weeks. Teddy Bridgewater came in and went 5-0. Right? Teddy Bridgewater. Now, granted, I mean, Drew Brees is Drew Brees. So I mean, Bridgewater wasn't a threat to him. But that's the kind of player that I'm talking. Maybe like a Gardner Minshew, a guy who's not really. He's not going to take somebody's job because he's not talented enough to do that.
But he can. Win.
If he has to go in, he can win games, or at least not lose you the games.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm picking the Panthers for this game. What about you guys?
I'm begrudgingly picking the Panthers on this one.
I'm going with angry Baker Mayfield, Tampa Bay.
Oh, okay. See, B says begrudgingly because B wants he wants the Panthers to tank. But if Bryce is going to be the quarterback, you don't need to tank anymore, right? That doesn't change the way you look at the draft now. That possibly Bryce will be back.
I'll tell you why it doesn't right now. Because now, if this was the beginning of the season, completely different. But they're 3-8. They're not going anywhere this year. They're not competing this year. They're picking 6th right now. What if Travis Hunter goes 4th?
You know? So that's who you're looking at.
Well, I mean, just whoever the guy is for you. But like Travis Hunter, great wide receiver, or if you prefer, you can play corner as well if you want to go that route. But I mean, I think he's a better receiver than corner. But he's arguably the best player in this draft. Mm-hmm. So, but whoever it is you're looking at, if they want to look at an edge rusher or even an interior D lineman or something like that, you want to be in position to take that person without having to trade up. Ideally, you want to be in position where you can trade back and still take that guy and pick up extra draft picks. So they can get up to, I mean, this is a long shot, but they can get up to the number 2 pick and be able to trade back to 4 or 5 and still get the player they want and pick up a bunch of picks. That's the ideal situation.
Right. Because God knows we don't want them trading up. They will sell the deed to the Carolinas.
First of all, that guy is not there. He's not the GM anymore.
One of the guys is there.
One of the guys is still there.
Hey,
and Morgan is still there.
Hey, Dan Morgan got a 4th round pick for Jonathan Mingo.
So what do you get? What do you get for
Brian Burns? What do you get for Brian Burns?
You got 2 second round picks for Brian Burns.
When he was offered 2 firsts.
What do you get for Deontay Johnson?
No, he was not offered 2.
He wasn't.
Other guy. That was the other guy, Hendo.
Oh yeah, what did he get for?
Well, okay. Well, what did you get for Deontay Johnson deal? Because he has 1 catch so far. So apparently we robbed y'all on that one too. Okay.
We didn't give up. We swapped draft picks in the same round. We didn't lose any.
No. It wasn't the same round.
Yes, like we gave up the picks at the end of one round.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Y'all moved up 6 picks.
Yeah. So. And we're saving Deontay Johnson for the playoffs.
Yep.
So I heard.
Just like Odell.
All right, this is a good time for another break, so to speak. Okay, we have another person that wants to let y'all know what they're thankful for. So check it out.
I really can't believe Odell, in all his years of experience, ran back to that huddle and said, "Lamar, you got to do something.
You got to make a play."
Help.
Right.
Coach said help.
Right.
Hey, Lamar, coach said help.
Coach told me come over here and ask you when you're going to turn it on. Which I know. You want to know? Like, fucking over.
All right, we're gonna.
I'm thankful for my kids, my family, and the LBHT crew. Happy Thanksgiving.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Fares. You know me. One half of Good Friends, Better Rivals, occasional guest on LBHT. Just here to tell you what I'm thankful for. It's Thanksgiving coming up. I'm thankful for my family. Just got off the phone with my brother and my other brother. We had a conference call. It was pretty dope. Going through memory lane, talking about sports. fun old time. Kind of Brodny and Jose. They can talk sports with their brothers all day, just like I could talk sports with talk sports with my brothers all day as well. I'm also thankful for LGR. They kind of helped me out through a dark time in COVID. That includes, I'll point out Suge as well, former one of the founders of it. So there's that as well. Shout out to Suge, because without Suge, I wouldn't be here. He found LBHT, and then we watched their videos together. I remember back in the day where it was 5 people, 3 people in the chat, 2 of them were me and Suge. So I remember all of that. I'd like to thank LBHT for pushing me out of my comfort zone. We'll always have the meetup. I wasn't gonna go to that until they kind of bullied me. Respectful bullying to get my damn self to the East Coast to enjoy it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Loved meeting everybody there. Almost died making my way out there, but it was a worthy trip. Shout out to them. Shout out to Mikey. Shout out to Quan. Shout out to Coach. Shout out to Chris. Shout out to them as well. Shout out to everybody. Thank you so much. Hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Appreciate you. Stay safe. And shout out to you, Hendo. I know me and you hate each other, but at the end of the day, you love me. So shout out to you as well.
We're going to go ahead and move on. We've got a court of public opinion for you. This one is honestly one of the more. It's one of the ones I didn't want to do because honestly, this is a pretty disgusting story, and let me see if we can get Hendo in here. Give me 1 second.
All right, while B is setting that up, this is more of an overtime show type of vibe. Okay, we discussed this in our what do you call it, our pre-production meeting. Okay, what we're going to give you for the court of public opinion, and we figured since this is a little bit more of a special type of show, a holiday show. We want to give you guys a feel for what it's like to be a member of the Patreon community. Okay. You can do that by going over to patreon.com/LBHT show. All right. And these are the type of topics that we talk about over there. We talk about all kinds of things: sports, entertainment, movies, pop culture, whatever you guys want to talk about. So obviously there is a hot topic going on right now, and we're going to discuss that on the court of public opinion. You ready, B?
I am ready.
Let's go. All rise. All rise. Court is now in session. All right, you see it. What is going on with our guy, Aubrey Drake Graham?
Not our guy.
He's our guy.
He's not our guy.
Y'all guy.
Not behaving like this. I mean, not before either. He can't rap, but definitely not behaving like this. So, for those that don't know, earlier this year, there was a little tiff, if you will, between Drake and J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar. J. Cole immediately said, "No, I don't want any of this," and stepped away. And Drake said, "You know what? People have been lying to me about my skills for years. I can do this." And he decided to proceed with a war of words with Kendrick Lamar. Now I'm not gonna go through the whole history. We're gonna fast forward here just a bit. Drake has been murdered several times. Kendrick Lamar has been offered the Super Bowl halftime show. He accepted. After he did a concert in LA where he performed "Not Like Us" 5 separate times, bringing Russell Westbrook up on stage, tried to bring LeBron up on stage, but
and each time he performed it, it increased the viewership of that of said
and it got louder.
Of said concert.
Yeah, so it's "Not Like Us," as you may know, the biggest single of the year, the biggest hit of the year. It crossed over like no diss track has ever done. And Kendrick kind of rode the wave for several months, and then dropped an album out of nowhere last week. And Drake was like, he can't keep getting away with it. And so Drake called up his lawyers and said, you remember that thing that Spotify and Apple Music do for me? Sue Spotify and UMG and tell them that they're doing that for Kendrick now. That thing being falsely increasing inflating the numbers for Not Like Us, making it look like it's a bigger hit than it is. So,
the initial suit, I believe, was that they were doing it for this current album, right?
No,
he filed 2 lawsuits.
Right, but it was still for Not Like Us.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It was a bigger single or bigger hit than it was, which, I mean, I've seen the YouTube video, and like that is over 150 million views, just the music video for it.
Yep.
And that came a long time after the song came out, and I know people were listening to the song quite a bit. I've seen people who have never heard rap music making videos using Not Like Us. No one believes you, Drake.
Well, okay. So the second lawsuit that he dropped within 24 hours, similar to what Kendrick did when he dropped his diss tracks, that was for a defamation of character, right? But that wasn't against Drake. It was
against Universal Music, UMG. I forget exactly what it stands for.
UMG,
Universal Music Group or something like that. But
Group, probably.
That was for them essentially releasing the song where he was being accused of being a pedophile, and he said it was defamatory and they should not have released it. Essentially, not how that works.
And it could have hurt his future releases.
Could have. It definitely did. But again, not illegal.
It said could have.
Yeah.
Right.
But again, not illegal. That's not how that works.
And I don't agree with that. I don't think. Okay, I have a different perspective on Drake. Right. Up until this point, I respected Drake. Like, you know, he has some. Drake's put out a lot of music.
Mm-hmm.
There's some that I like. Right. Drake is not a traditional artist, so to speak, a traditional MC. We all know he doesn't write his own rhymes. He's not talented in that way, but he knows how to deliver the music. And you know, he consistently put out stuff that people like. He puts out party music. You know, it's easy to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I'm not the biggest Drake fan by any means, right? But I think Drake is one of those artists where you can say, I can't stand him. I just don't like Drake. But somebody else will say, I actually like Drake. And you're like, cool. Right? Like there's no argument there, right? There's no like, oh man, he sucks. Like there's no deeper conversation, right? Like, there's a certain artist that Hendo doesn't like, that I'm not gonna embarrass you, Hendo, because it's just embarrassing that you don't like him, and I just think, it's kind of shameful. I'm not gonna put it out there, but we have conversations every time we bring up said artist, because he's one of the greatest rappers of all time.
Allegedly.
And you see, there we go. That will spark an argument, right?
Facts.
But with Drake, you can say, "Hey, I love his music. I think he's wonderful," and I can say, "I think he's trash," and there's no argument, right?
Why there's no argument? Because the one that says he's trash doesn't respect the other one's opinion enough to argue.
No, bruh.
No. Because we understand, because it's understood what Drake is, right? It's understood what he is.
Right? I really love your use of non-traditional, describing someone who doesn't have the skills to do the job that they're in. He's like, Nick Foles is the non-traditional quarterback, where if you build a great roster around him, you can win a Super Bowl. But if you just put him somewhere, he can't do anything on his own.
No. There's always been artists throughout the years that haven't written their own rhymes.
True.
Right. But what were you gonna say? Hendo?
I was gonna say I agree with you, Jose, because me and Dre, when we used to do the show, like, it's certain rappers, I'd be like, yo, I don't mess with him. And Dre would give me a look and be like, bro, come on, you tripping. But when I say, yo, I can't stand Dre just be like, all right.
Yeah,
But
right.
that's what I'm saying because
It's no argument.
because people know that he's
Yeah.
he's not
Because
he's not
there are certain artists that get
there's
put in
nothing
that
there.
category. Yes, there are certain artists that get put in that category of okay, they're just making fun music. I kind of look at Little Yachty like that, right? He's not serious, but like he's a likable guy. He just wants to make party music. He's not hurting anybody.
Right.
It's fine, right? It's fine. Even when we were coming up, right? Like DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince, they
Right.
called them bubblegum rap. Kid and Play. Like you had
Yeah.
that, you had those type of artists. Although they wrote their own rhymes, but
Yeah, and they were talented.
And they had hits.
yeah, they were very very talented. They were very talented, but
I don't know, top 50
you know,
talented, but yeah.
but it was understood that they weren't, like they weren't going to go up against like the serious rappers,
Right.
and win any meaningful battle, and they kind of stayed in their lane, right?
Mhm.
And people took shots at them. They might,
Yeah.
made a little comment here and there, but they're not, like, hey, we're over here doing this, y'all do that, and that's how I saw Drake. Even when he did his battle raps against Meek Mill, which I don't know how Meek Mill lost that, but okay, congratulations. You gotta, you're a party rapper that beat a battle rapper. Congratulations, that's a huge win. Then you went against Pusha T and you got crushed,
Right.
and you moved on from that as you should have. And I thought, okay, maybe there you learned your lesson. Now K Dot has been taking shots at him for years, right? I guess Drake has taken a couple of shots here and there, and that's fine. You can do that till the end of time. That's a safe space, right? But now J. Cole is to blame in this, okay? Because they put out First Person Shooter, which I thought was a dope song, right? And Kendrick responded to that, even though they weren't taking a shot at Kendrick, but Kendrick responded to that like, no, there's no big three here. It's just me. And J. Cole dropped the first diss track, okay? He put it out there, and J. Cole is a serious rapper, right? And he kind of put out like a semi diss track, like, hey, I'm taking a little shot back. You don't want it with me. You know what I'm saying? And we thought, okay, cool. Drake said, all right, somebody's got my back here. It's 2 against 1. We can do this, right? Let's go. Okay. Drop, right? He's like, let's go. And then J. Cole said, you know what? On second thought, I'm out. On second thought, I don't like the way this looks. I didn't like that what you put out there, Drake. You go ahead and handle this.
Right.
And then Kendrick just did what he did after that. Okay, right? Drake could have stopped at any point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when Kendrick put out Euphoria, Drake could have stopped right there and said, all right, I said what I need to say. I'm out. I'm going back to making my party music. And it had just stayed right there. But he wanted to respond with Family Matters, which I thought was a good diss track. I thought that was solid. And then, Kendrick just ripped his head off with Meet the Grams. And then, Not Like Us. Again, you lost. It is what it is. It is what it is. Nobody likes losing in that fashion.
Mm-hmm.
But Drake still has his fan base, right? Because they don't love you for battle rapping. They don't love you for that type of rapping.
Right.
They love you for the bubblegum music that you put out.
Mm-hmm.
So he could have went back and done business as usual and it not hurt him. But he took it personal. And I don't know why you took it so personal, why your ego's getting in the way now. You were never that person, right? And if you're taking it so personal, get back in the booth and respond. This right here, you're suing now? You're suing?
Don't you think he's gotten back in the booth? He takes it that personal because people have been telling him, those fans are telling you, Aubrey's Angels, who will defend him forever. They've been telling him, no, he's the GOAT, he's the best.
Yep.
And I'm sure he's gotten back in the booth. And every time he recorded something, he said it's not good enough. Right. And now he's at his wit's end, and he's like, call my lawyer.
Right.
But think about it. You think Kendrick doesn't do that? I think Kendrick is a perfectionist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right?
but Kendrick
Like,
has talent though.
And Kendrick writes his own stuff. There's a
yeah,
difference.
yeah, but Aubrey has access to the finest writers.
No, he doesn't. You ain't got access.
This
You
side
ain't
of
got access to
Toronto.
Kendrick.
Anymore. Listen, it's kind of different. It's like being a content creator. Like if something happens in the news right now and you want to make a video, you can just make a video and have it out like that. But if you have to text somebody to get the concept and then record and then send it out and do all these things, it takes time. This is what he has to do because he's not talented. And then when you start getting that conflated ego with everybody like you're the best, oh, you've been the hottest for like the last 10 years, you start believing it. So now you think you're untouchable and you think that you're on another level and you start to look down on people. And he said some things in his past about half of his people that he really don't like us. He really don't care for us and he thinks that he's better. So what he doesn't realize in the business mind of Mr. Degrassi doesn't think about is going to the courts is only going to make Lamar more popular. It's giving him more credit in the streets, and it's going to bring about everything that he's done back to the forefront. All he's thinking about is, I got to fight it back. I got to fight back. This is how I win, because one of his corporate friends told him, this is how you do things.
Well, it's the same thing. B made this comparison. He's absolutely right. It's the same thing that Devin Haney did in boxing with Ryan Garcia. Right?
And in those arenas, you can't do it.
You can't do it.
For those that don't know, Devin Haney got in the ring with Ryan Garcia. Devin Haney's one of the most talented boxers in the world. He is an undisputed champion at lightweight. He moved up. He won. I think he only had one belt at the time, right?
140. Yeah.
So he gets in the ring with Ryan Garcia. We'll call him the clown prince of boxing. Ryan didn't take it very seriously. He used steroids. He missed weight. He got in the ring and he put a beating on Devin Haney.
Yes.
He knocked him down multiple times. He had him stumbling around the ring because Ryan Garcia is a talented fighter. Very strong. He has a great left hook, and he landed it almost at will. Devin Haney got out of that fight and went to his lawyers and said, "Hey." Well, the first part was understandable. He said, "Hey, you got to change that to a no contest because he cheated. Every fighter does that. That's no problem. Whatever." But then later to come back and say, I'm suing him for assault and battery and saying that he affected his mental state and affected him financially. I mean, but essentially the way it comes across is I'm suing you because you beat my ass in a boxing match. and I'm a professional boxer. And you can't do that.
Right.
Yes. Like, he's not the first person to be cheated in the ring. Right. I mean, Miguel Cotto is a name, like, people remember that when he fought
Margarito.
Antonio Margarito. He had the plaster, he wrapped his hands in plaster, which, it's very dangerous.
Yeah.
And
changed the trajectory of Cotto's career.
He did. But you know what Cotto did? He came back and he beat him, right, to a stoppage. So that's what people expect in that sport. Right or wrong, it's within his rights to do it, but you're gonna get looked at differently. That's the nature of the sport, and it's the same thing that goes with this. You were in a battle, Drake, right? You participated in the battle, and you're really mad about the PDF file allegations. You don't like those allegations,
right?
But you're just mad that you went low and he went lower because you started it, right? You started it with talking about his wife and the domestic allegations and all that stuff. Like you went there. You talked about how one of his kids ain't his. It's actually his managers and all that stuff. Like you want to go low there, which is fine. It's a battle rap. That's what you do.
Which is the same thing he did with Pusha T, and Pusha T went lower. And I'm like, why didn't you learn?
Right.
Right. Yeah. Well, he's like, well, this time, that was true. This time Kendrick is lying, and that's not fair.
Right.
Well, make up something else about him. It's a battle rap, and you got your feelings hurt, and you felt like he crossed the line. But you learned that there are no lines when you're going at somebody, especially when you don't like each other. Right. I don't think Pusha T has any real problem with Drake. I don't think Drake has any real problem with Push T. Like, it's not like that. I think Kendrick has a real problem with Drake.
It certainly seems so.
Yes, I think he has like I just legit think you're toxic.
He sounded like a legit psychopath on Meet the Grams.
Yeah.
He's gone to some dark places.
So you either can say, all right, man, we going there, we're gonna go there. And I'm not gonna stop. Right? I'm gonna keep putting stuff out. You keep putting stuff out, I'm gonna keep putting stuff out. We'll keep going back and forth like that. And it is what it is, right? Or to say, man, this is taking a dark turn. It wasn't even that serious for me. I'm gonna go back making my party music and stay in my lane. And you would be perfectly fine right now because there's still a lot of Drake stands that will stand with you no matter what, especially in a situation like this. And I understand it. But filing a lawsuit, man, that's crossing the line. You're not even suing Drake. You're suing the people that put out your music. And you're really saying, how could you let Kendrick do this to me? That's what you're saying.
So the lawsuit just says "fight back Spotify," and then down to like "PS for me." I just this is the court of public opinion. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this up now. I think Drake is absolutely guilty of like Kendrick said, being not like us. You can't exit the beef and call the lawyer. you can't do that.
You like, not only that, like the things leading up to this, right? Like he's having people from members of TDE, Top Dog Entertainment, like Schoolboy Q and other J Rock and like other rappers that have concerts in the Toronto area. He's getting their shows canceled, right? He's calling you didn't hear about this?
No.
Yeah, Schoolboy, he tweeted about it. He just laughed at it. He's just like, it's comical. Like whatever venue he's supposed to be performing at, Drake has ties up there. Okay, like he called his mom. His mom made a call, I guess, and they shut down the venue so he couldn't perform up there. And somebody else they did it too as well, right? Like that's Drake trying to flex his muscle a little bit. Drake had that racist group, the Hells Angels, try to jump Rick Ross because Drake hangs out with those type of people.
Yep.
Right. So like he goes about it those certain ways to try to shut things down. So that that's kind of a punk move, but whatever. You and your boy are trying to stare down DeMar DeRozan because he was in the Not Like Us video. Like DeMar DeRozan couldn't manhandle both of you at the same time.
Right.
All right.
Wait a minute. First of all, put some respect on Drake's name. That man went out and got a BBL. He's pumped now.
Yeah, and then threatening to tear his jersey down from the Raptors if they retire DeMar DeRozan's jersey, right? Like just clown stuff. People are already telling you grow up at that point, and you should grow up. He's 40 or close to 40 years old, right? And he's acting like a teenager. So people are already getting tired of the act from Drake, right? All the things that you're doing, it's just tired. Now you're suing.
Right.
Where do you think you're gonna go from here, man? Like you sued after Kendrick dropped the album of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Everybody loves this. The mustard thing is you hear it everywhere.
What's that?
And you got so mad he shaved his Drake shaved his head now. Like he cut his braids off. Okay.
He's grimy. Oh.
He cut his extensions off. So he's trying to show you that he's serious now. And he's like, I'm filing a lawsuit, all right, because that's the only way that he's blowing up like that. He couldn't have possibly done it naturally. Nobody does it that way. I know because I inflate my numbers. That's pretty much what you're saying. Like, why would you think
right
UMG and Spotify are inflating his numbers? Like, where would you come up with that idea unless it's something that you've done before or they've done for you? But yes, he's guilty. He's 100% guilty.
Guilty.
And I'm curious. I'm not passing any judgment. I'm curious if you are a Drake stan,
I'm
right?
judging.
Then I'm not saying that as a diss. If you are a Drake truther, what is your justification for what Aubrey is doing right now?
Can't. He's just Degrassi.
All right. Okay. All right. So, all right, we're going to hear from somebody else, and they want to tell you what they're thankful for. Let's go ahead and do that real quick.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving to the LBHT crew. I'm thankful for my family, thankful for my friends. Most importantly, thankful for Lamar Jackson, because without him, I'd be nothing. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Peace.
First off, I'm thankful for life in general. The ability to wake up and breathe every day. That's what I'm most thankful for. Secondly, for family. Without family, we're nothing. I'm nothing. I do anything for my family. Thirdly, a great circle of friends, a great network of people, great like-minded minds that have goals and are goal-oriented like I am. And basically, that's it. I'm simple. I'm appreciative of all the things that God has put out here for me. And happy Thanksgiving to you guys, man. Peace and love. Coach out.
All right. Now, we have some picks. We got another topic. All right. We're going to get up out of here. But as I mentioned earlier, patreon.com/LBHT Show. All right. If you like that Court of Public Opinion, where we talked about Aubrey and Kendrick, we talk about those type of topics and a lot more on the Overtime Show. You can find that on our patreon.com/LBHT Show for as little as $5 a month. We have a $5 tier, $10 tier, 20, even a $60 tier for you content creators. All right. So go over there, check it out, see which one works for you. We have all kinds of perks for that tier. So go and check it out. If you like what we're wearing, all of us, even Hendo, you can find all this merch. We're both wearing Ring Kings merch. This is actually a Ring Kings podcast shirt. I know we haven't put out a episode in a while. We're still around. We're still gonna do it. Okay, we're still here. Okay, but all the stuff you can find on our website, lbhtshow.com/shop. All right, so go over there, check it out, support anything that you spend on us. We put back into the show. All right. So we appreciate that. Also sign up for our upcoming newsletter. Get on a waiting list, lbhtshow.com. Put in your email. All right. We got a lot of things in store for you guys. So continue to support. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It helps a lot. All right. All right, B. What we got?
Well, we are going to go ahead and do our, start off with the Hall of Fame or the picks.
Let's do the picks.
Let's do the picks. There we go. That's not the right sheet. There we go. So this is the Week 13 schedule. Obviously, you have the triple header on Thanksgiving. Pretty bad games there. First time ever, we got a Black Friday game on Amazon Prime. Then obviously the reduced slate on Sunday and the Monday Night Football. So first up on Thursday on Thanksgiving, you got Chicago at Detroit. Chicago has been trying to put it together for several weeks now. And, I think that Caleb Williams is playing better. I think they're starting to figure some things out. But Detroit is already there. So I'm going to take the Lions.
Give me Detroit.
Yeah, I got Detroit.
Next up, we got the New York Giants at Dallas. This one's interesting because the Giants are a joke and Dallas also a joke. But they did upset Washington this past week, which means they are not going to beat the Giants on Thursday.
Wow.
Let me see. Give me Dallas.
Tommy Cutlets.
If it was at New York, I would pick the Giants, but I don't think they're gonna lose at home to the Giants.
They
Wait a
haven't
minute.
won at home.
That's right. They haven't won at home this year. No, this is their first win. This is their. Listen,
Yes.
Michael Parsons is back. This is their first win at home. Dallas.
Yeah.
Tommy Cutlets on Thanksgiving. Miami at Green Bay. Green Bay is kind of a mess, a little bit. Jordan Love is just, he's not playing like terribly or anything, but he's just not. Something's not clicking quite right. They're almost there, but they can't seem to get 100% back to where they were last season when they were really rolling. Miami is starting to roll though now that Tua is back, and I think they're going to keep it going and get the win on the road on Thursday night.
Ooh, let's see. Romeo Dobbs is going to be out for this game, so that takes a weapon away from Jordan Love. But I think that Josh Jacobs and that defense is going to be a little bit too much. I'm going with Green Bay.
Yeah, I got Green Bay, and also can I add that I haven't seen a sadder trio of games to put on Thanksgiving.
Right.
Good.
It wasn't great. It's not great. I get Chicago and Detroit, and I get Miami and Green Bay. But the Giants at Dallas was never going to be good.
Never.
Friday, Black Friday on Amazon Prime, the Las Vegas Raiders at the Kansas City Chiefs. One of the best and most storied rivalries in NFL history. And, the Raiders always seem to give Kansas City a good game recently. Yeah. So I think it's going to be an entertaining one, and I think Kansas City comes out on top.
Let's see. Vegas beat Kansas City last year on Christmas Day. I think that the Raiders, since they go back to the AFL days, are actually going to go into this game and lose to Kansas City.
I got Kansas City, but Kansas City's been asking to lose a lot for a lot of weeks. Okay, like their record is a little their record is a little deceptive though, right? They're not as there's some problems there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but they'll pull this one out.
Yep. All right, so moving on to Sunday, we got the Chargers at Atlanta. Chargers coming off of that loss to Baltimore. I think that they get back on track and beat the, for some reason, still Kirk Cousin-led Atlanta Falcons.
Right. Yeah, give me the Chargers.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins is a fraud. Give me the Chargers.
Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Pittsburgh had a big win against Baltimore and then pissed it all away just days later playing the Cleveland Browns. But I think that the slide continues and Joe Burrow gets a win here.
Yeah, listen, Pittsburgh, they've had 10 days off, but I think that Joe Burrow, especially if T. Higgins plays, that offense is going to be too much. Pittsburgh can't score, so give me Cincinnati.
Coach Evans from Sip to Tally Films, he predicted that they were going to lose their next 3 games. And he said, look, you can call home or whatever, but he studies the tape and he didn't think the Browns, he didn't think they beat the Browns, and he called that game. The Browns won. And he thinks they're going to lose the next 2 games. And I have to agree, right? Cincinnati has just been finding ways to lose. They've lost a lot of games that they shouldn't have lost.
True.
This is a very talented team, and at home, this is going to be tougher for Pittsburgh. Yes, I agree. I think they're going to continue to slide. I'll take Cincinnati at home.
Arizona at Minnesota. Minnesota was one of the hottest teams in the league to start the season, and Sam Darnold showed up and started playing quarterback for him. Kyler Murray has been playing very well, and I think he keeps it going. Arizona gets the victory on the road.
Nah, I'm going to go with Dan Sarnold in the Minnesota Vikings. I think Kyler Murray is fool's gold. And just because Buck likes him, I'm going with Minnesota.
Well, yeah, not for Hendo's reasons, but I'm going with Minnesota.
The Colts at New England. I'm never going to pick New England. They're the most boring team. The least interesting team in the NFL. I don't want to watch them play. I don't want to see them win any games. Anthony Richardson is going to run all over them. He's going to throw for 37% all over their secondary. And the Colts are going to win.
Listen, I have never seen 2 teams in my life find ways to lose games, but I guess, like you said, I got to go with the Colts and Anthony Richardson completing 8 passes for 389 yards.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Colts. This is a tough one, but I'm gonna go Colts.
Seattle at the New York Jets. The only reason to watch this one is to see if it's the final straw that breaks the camel's back and they bench Aaron Rodgers. Other than that, Seattle gets the win here.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers hasn't had a 300-yard passing game in like 3 years, and that offense looks terrible. You get what you asked for, Devontae Adams. I'm going with semi-fraud in Seattle. Geno.
So, since they traded for Devontae Adams, they've only won one game, right?
Have they won a game?
Have they won? I think they.
They
Yeah,
beat
I think they
beat
win.
the Texans.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the
That was
only
the
game
only
they
one.
won.
Yep.
Well, we tried to tell you, Devontae. All right, try to tell you, come to Baltimore, but enjoy, man. Yeah, Seattle got this game. I don't even think it's gonna be close, to be honest.
No. Tennessee at Washington. Tennessee with a big win over Houston this past week. Washington with one of the most inexplicable losses of all time against Dallas last week. Washington's lost 3 in a row. They're reeling a bit, and I think they get right against Tennessee, taking Washington.
Every time I pick them DC boys, they always let me down. I think that what Tennessee showed last week, I think that Mailman is going to lead Tennessee to victory.
Nah, I got Washington, man. Tennessee.
Nah, I mean,
give me Washington. Give me Washington.
Listen. Tony Pollard is balling right now.
Tennessee and New England should be playing each other at the end of the season to see who gets relegated. Houston at Jacksonville. I'm taking the Texans. Jacksonville is a complete mess.
I'm going with Houston. They're too talented team to find ways to lose each and every week. Like they went up big against who was it, Tennessee last week. Like I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know what's wrong with CJ Stroud, but I guess they haven't. Yeah, their O-line is terrible. But I guess they have enough to beat Jacksonville because I don't even think Trevor Lawrence is playing.
Yeah, give me Texans.
LA Rams at the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to roll with Stafford and Puka and Kyron Williams in this one. I don't ever want to hear from the Saints again.
Yeah, give me the Rams.
Yep, I got the Rams.
Tampa Bay at Carolina. We talked about this one quite a bit and how Bryce has been progressing. The Panthers as a whole are looking more and more like a NFL team is supposed to look. I expect to see more out of Jonathan Brooks this week. Hopefully, we get some positive play out of Xavier Legette. I'm going to take Tampa Bay in a close one. I'm going to say 24-21.
I think Baker Mayfield, even without one of his top targets, is just balling. Bucky Irvin, he's out here doing his thing. Give me Tampa Bay 35-24.
I'm going Carolina, and let's flip that 24-21 Carolina at home.
Okay. Philly at Baltimore, the game of the week. You got the top 2 running backs in the league in Saquon and Derrick Henry. You've got the top quarterback in the league and another guy who's, top 15. You got one of the better defenses in the league and the worst defense in the league. I'm not sure why this is the top game of the week. I think Philly gets him this week. I think Baltimore's defense playing better over the last couple of weeks is a little bit of fool's gold, just because they haven't played great offenses.
True.
And they're going up against A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley, possibly Devontae Smith. And I think that them old slow-ass corners and the young slow-ass corners are going to get roasted this week.
They're not slow. Okay. They're everything else that you said, though. I think they'll play marginally better. And like Coach said, they don't have to go from worst to first in pass defense. They just need to get, 10, 11 spots better. And that changes the whole dynamic of this team. And Sirianni has his issues as a coach as well. Okay.
True.
this is one of the coaches where if you ask me, is he better than Harbaugh? I'm not so sure about that.
But his team is better though.
His team is well put together for sure, and he has squandered that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he squandered it. I mean, was he their coach when they went to the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
John ain't been there.
No, he hasn't. I didn't say John was great. No. This is, like I said, this is a highly visible game against the NFC team. These are the games that Harbaugh gets his team ready for. So I'm gonna take Baltimore at home. I'm gonna say 37-24.
Yes. Listen, Lamar Jackson 23-1 versus the NFC. Wonderful record, but this Philadelphia offensive line is going to mollywop this defense. And this is the one thing that has me scared. I think they're going to manhandle our defensive line. And then you got A.J. Brown, you got Devontae Smith if he plays, Dallas Goedert, and one of their surprise players is Kenneth Gainwell. Like, he comes into the game and he runs just as well as Saquon Barkley does. So defensively, we have to get it together, but I'm going to go with Baltimore for the win, 31-30.
I'm taking Philly 38-28.
Okay.
Next up, San Francisco at Buffalo. One team past their prime, one team it never was. I'm going to take Buffalo as San Francisco continues their slide.
Yeah, give me Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if Brock Purdy's playing again this week. Trent Williams is injured. Like, they have so many injuries on this team, and just, the Kyle Shanahan magic has worn off. Then you got the MVP and Josh Allen for Buffalo. So give me Buffalo.
And the Monday night game, not sure how this landed on Monday night, but Cleveland at Denver. Bo Nix making a strong case to steal Offensive Rookie of the Year from Jaden Daniels. Having played extremely well over the last couple months. I don't know, man. I'm gonna take Cleveland because Jameis is must see TV.
That's why I was about to say, you said you didn't know how this game got scheduled. You said the name right there.
Hey, they didn't know Jameis was playing.
True.
Okay, Jameis is going to eat that W. Give me Cleveland.
Listen, we got Bernie Kosar versus John Elway. Give me Bernie Kosar.
And that is it for the Week 13 picks. I'm going to take that down. We do have one more pick segment. If y'all want to do it, this is.
I don't know. This will be a bonus video. We'll end the show here.
Well, no, we have some submitted questions.
What?
Oh, okay. All right. Submitted questions time.
Real quick.
As we enter the holiday season, I would like to give thanks to you all. First and foremost, thanks to my guys, Jose and Brodny, for giving me the opportunity to be in the space that I'm in today. If it were not for them pushing me, prodding me, and guiding me on the way, I probably wouldn't be on this camera talking to you guys right now. So shout out to Jose and Brodny at Lunch Break Hot Take. And I just want to let you gentlemen know that I really do appreciate you gentlemen outside of YouTube and everything else, just for the great human beings that you are. Your parents raised some outstanding young men. And not only with them, I am grateful and thankful for the LBHT community that they introduced me to. It is a wonderful collection of young men and young women, and we are now considered family because we spend so much time with one another. And I just want to let you guys know I am grateful. And last but not least, I am grateful to the YouTube community that we have built. Not just for myself, not just for Lunch Break Hot Take, but all of us that have built this thing together. You guys come out and support us each and every week, whether you agree with what we say or if you dispute it, or even sometimes we may fuss and fight, but you always come back and cooler heads prevail. I just want to say thank you guys for showing up for us each and every week, each and every video, and doing the things that you do to make us be as successful as we are right now. Because if you guys weren't around, we wouldn't be around. We would not be doing this. So just know that we do all of this for you guys, and we are truly, and I am truly and honestly grateful and thankful to have you people in my life. And also, on a side note, I want to say that I am truly, 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 truly grateful for Lamar Jackson being the quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens. I do not know what this iteration of this team would look like if he were not our quarterback. I just don't know how we would function. I don't know how successful we would be. So I am truly grateful for him and being the young man that he is. And if I also forgot to say, I'm thankful for family, friends, all of those people that don't support me and just are here. So thank you to them as well. Happy holidays. Be safe and enjoy yourselves.
And thank you everybody that submitted videos telling us what they're thankful for. And look, you guys can hit us up anywhere on social media at LBHT Show. If you want to follow us on Blue Sky is popping now. Okay, we've been over there for a minute waiting for y'all. You can go follow us at Blue Sky or at LBHT Show. B Sky social.
The Blue Sky will do the rest for you.
Yeah, Blue Sky. Yeah, Blue Sky take care of it. Go to Blue Sky, LBHT Show. Hit us up. Tell us what you're thankful for. All right.
All right, so we have a couple submitted questions we got from our Discord. We didn't post it on the community tab, but these are Thanksgiving questions or Thanksgiving-related questions. So thank you very much to Adelia and Big Reg who posted these in the Discord. So we'll go ahead and go through these real quick here. From Adelia, what's the best Thanksgiving tradition in your family? Hendo, you want to go ahead and start us off?
Yes. So the best tradition in my family is being off of work and watching football.
I was going to say it's not eating turkey, right?
Yes, tofurkey.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely. It's just vile. All right. You know what? I'm sorry. We're going to move on from that. Jose?
I would say for us, like, we don't really, we kind of did away with those type of traditions, right? Like, we just get together, right? Thanksgiving isn't the big holiday for our household. Sometimes we do something, sometimes we don't. Sometimes it'll be at our parents' house. Sometimes it'll be at our older brother's house. This year I'm going to my sister's house, right? That's one of those things. If we're all in the area, we don't necessarily put together a big meal, but we'll just hang out, play some board games or whatnot. Other holidays, I think we make more of an effort to do. But Thanksgiving, kind of like Hendo, you just looking forward to just having a time off, watching football, and just chilling.
Well, Jose's wrong. I'm going to tell you the actual one. When when our mother is stateside, which she's not right now, she's down in St. Croix. Shout out to you, Ma. Congratulations on finishing the semester. Going after that degree. But it's Mom's island stuffing, which everyone loves except for me.
I'm wrong. When's the last time she's made that?
Like last year.
Not in our adulthood.
Yeah. She makes it all the time.
She didn't make it last year.
I'm pretty sure she did.
No.
And I bet if you ask her, she'll tell you the same.
Well, if you got to say I'm pretty sure, then...
Well, I say I'm pretty sure because I don't eat it because I don't like mashed potatoes. It's mashed potato based, but everybody else loves it.
It's the best thing in the world, and I only get it like once a year.
You are a chef.
I'm not a chef. Stop telling people that. I'm not a chef.
You ain't graduated culinary college?
No, I'm an IT professional. I graduated college.
Wow.
And I got my associates in applied sciences. Okay.
Wow. I'll tell you what I'm thankful for. It's the truth. and I can't wait to log off here so I can go find it. All right, next question. This one's from Big Reg. What is your favorite part of Thanksgiving? Similar but different. I'm going to actually go first here, and I'm going to say mac and cheese and football. Mac and cheese is the only Thanksgiving food that I really like. I like cornbread, stuffing.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. But mac and cheese is the star of Thanksgiving because turkey. I'm gonna tell you, turkey is like Daniel Jones. I don't know how it got a starring role on one of the major holidays. Just like I don't know how Daniel Jones was a starting quarterback for a New York football team for so long. Turkey's not good. But mac and cheese is incredible if you know how to make it. And we don't usually do the baked mac and cheese. We save that for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and whatnot. So having the baked mac and cheese and watching usually better football than we're going to get this year, but pretty entertaining football is the best part.
You know, me, I was at a Friendsgiving this weekend hosted by OTR Brandon. Shout out to OTR Brandon. Thank you for hosting it this year. Again this year. He did it last year as well, him and his wife Nia. And you know, you spoke of mac and cheese. Our guy Butter was there, and Butter's son, Gio, shout out to Gio. He made a buffalo chicken mac and cheese, which was amazing. It was amazing. So shout out to Gio for that, man. That was my favorite dish of the night. All right. Favorite part of Thanksgiving, I mean, not having to do anything. Right. It's very rare where I don't have to do anything. You know, the part of Thanksgiving where I don't have to do anything because I still have to do a lot of driving around. Right. Typically, you know, rounding up kids or dropping off kids and whatnot. That typically happens on Thanksgiving Day for me. But the part of Thanksgiving where I can just sit down, relax, and not have to be bothered. Yes, and watch some football or take a nap or whatever. Right. That's my favorite part.
My favorite part is, of course, football, but also for that week, for the rest of that week, I get to eat my potato salad because I make a bunch of my potato salad and I just eat. That's all I eat for the rest of the weekend, and it is the best.
Yeah, leftover ham and turkey sandwiches kind of thing for you, since you don't eat meat, but it's the equivalent. And yeah, it's great having the rest of the week with the leftovers that you don't usually get throughout the rest of the year.
Yes, delicious.
I mean, probably not, but it's, you know, it's potato salad. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So again, thank you very much, Adelia and Big Red, for submitting your questions. We hope you're having a wonderful Thanksgiving, or will have a wonderful Thanksgiving tomorrow, since it's Wednesday night right now. But that, I believe, is the show.
All right.
All right. Well, look, you guys already saw a message from Hendo, giving what he's thankful for. Appreciate you, Hendo, for putting out that video. I'll make it short, man. You know, I'm thankful for, you know, all of you guys out there supporting us. You know, thankful for my family. You know, my brother B, for getting this whole thing started with me. You know, and everything that he's contributed to this show. This show definitely would not be where it's at without him. You know, so appreciate my brother, appreciate all my brothers. You know, my sisters. You know, me and B are very family oriented. You know, so we're very thankful for the support that we get from our family, friends. You know, me. You know, the OTR crew. Y'all know how I feel about y'all, man. You know, y'all like brothers to us. So appreciate y'all, man. Coach, Chris, you know, the whole Roundup crew, man. Like, you know, we are very tight. The whole LBHT crew, everybody out there, you know, you guys, we're trying to build a community here, a tight knit community, right? So we really appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate you guys, you know, leaving the comments. You know, sign up for Patreon, sign up for the Discord. You know, just interacting with us in general. Everybody that showed up to the meet and greet, that meant a lot for us, man. Thank you, and just keep supporting, because you know, if you're rocking with us and you see what we're doing and you like it, we got a lot more in store for you.
Yeah, I'd like to echo those sentiments. Obviously, thankful for my family, all my friends. Like Jose said, without Jose, there wouldn't even be a lunch break hot take. You know, thankful to the community we build up. Thankful to Hendo, who's always there when we need him. Suge, Fares, you know, Jay, Derek, who's been with us since almost day one.
Yes.
Back on.
He was
that,
the 99-cent tier, the anchor,
yeah,
Anchor. Yes.
Anchor, who tells you to just hit record on your phone. Don't do that. Don't do that. But thankful to everyone, you know, Just Allo, Osman, everybody who watches the show, whether you our Patreon, whether you donate or whether you just watch and kind of lurk. We appreciate all the support. Thank you very much, and hopefully we have another year where we continue to grow it. We'll be back here next Thanksgiving.
Bigger and better.
All right. Well,
I'm sorry. I want to give one special shout out. I know I didn't put it in the video, but I want to give a special shout out to Danity for policing these YouTube streets and keeping our streams safe.
We appreciate you, Danity. Thank you very much. Yes. Hendo, let the people know where they can find you.
You can find me at The Road Pod on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Blue Sky. I forgot I was on there, but I am there. Also, if you want to help support the channel, you can go over to patreon.com/ROUG, become a member of this community. Like, we have a lot of things going on, and myself and LBHT, our Discord is just like this, son. So just come on over. Be a part of what we got going on, because like you said, we have a lot of things that we're putting in the works, and we're just going to grow and get bigger and better.
Yes, indeed. You're going to be seeing a lot more of the three of us starting next year. So I hope you like the trio. All right. All right. That's it for the show. Okay. It's Wednesday. If you listen to the audio version of the podcast, it is Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to y'all.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And go watch
Happy
some more
Indigenous
football.
Peoples Day.
Yes, happy Indigenous Peoples Day. Indeed. B, are you ready?
I am ready.
B is ready. Y'all be safe out there. Okay. Enjoy your time off if you get the time off, and spend the time with your family. And we will see you on Sunday. Go Ravens. Go Panthers. Peace.
But not too hard though.